I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and it's a bigger plan. It's not my plan. There's a bigger plan cooking out there, and you got to be patient and wait for the gumbo to start bubbling. You know, you got to wait for those spices and wait for those things. And
this is Up and Country on 93.7 The Bull. It's powered by V Livecast. I'm your host, Sue Bonzel. Let's get this show started. He has a new album out called Optimystic. I am so excited. Drake White is here in the studios here in Nashville. Welcome, Drake.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you could be here.
Glad to be here.
So we have a lot to talk about. You got a lot going on. You got the new album, Optimystic, and it's Mystic, M-Y-S-T. M-Y-S-T-I-C.
Yep.
I'm having to do spelling already. This is not good.
Well, first off, I'm a horrible speller. Always have been. But I've always enjoyed moving words around and moving sentences around, and I mean it's part of the writing process. But the definition of that word, I just came up that the last 2 years for me have been a mystery. They've been very challenging and very crazy, and it's the art of keeping the glass half full through that mystery is the optimistic. And we wrote, me and Lauren Wintraub and Kelly Johnson wrote this song called The Optimistic. And I just got to thinking about it and thinking about the spelling, and it just came out. And it's we're kind of the cosmic side of country. And that's where that spelling came from.
I think it's cool. And you kind of have a different sound.
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit different. I mean, I was kind of like, maybe a little Chris Stapleton kind of thing, but I was reading in your description and talking about you being on stage, and you had in your description, it's equal parts Baptist tent revival and amped up Southern rock festival. Like, okay, why would you not want to go see one of your shows, right? Like,
yeah. I grew up in Northeast Alabama, just south of Muscle Shoals. I love soul music. My grandfather was a preacher. My dad was a choir director and did, that's the way I was raised. And so when you see the shows, I grew up on Tom Petty and Marshall Tucker Band and all these, Southern rock type bands, but I also grew up around anointed, very powerful speakers. And my mom's a cosmetologist, so she's one of those powerful speakers. So the show for me was just that's my form of entertainment, was to go out there and conduct a revival of some sorts, saying that, hey, tomorrow's gonna be better than today, and this is turned into this performing style this free flow, freestyle thing, because you don't really know what's going to happen in our shows.
Right.
We just kind of flow off the cuff, so that's what makes them fun.
Well, and your music in general is very soulful. You can feel that, and I think with this album, I'd like to hear more about creating this album, because I got to ask you about your health scare. Yeah. What went on and how all of that has kind of unfolded for you.
Right. Well, the album, is a product of just pushing through all the stuff and understanding that this is what you do. This is who I am, and nobody's going to come help you in this world. You have to realize that. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm here to lay your album out and lay your career out and do all that." Right. Whether it be record deals or publishing deals or everything in this world, everything in this industry has been thrown at me and around me. But it is you that has to go in and create it. And this is a product of me going, this is what I do. This is what I want. This is what my fans want. And I put them first. And went out there through these tumultuous times of a pandemic and a stroke and just created music. I mean, a lot of it was through Zoom, as we were talking about earlier. A lot of it was through songs I wrote 10 and 12 years ago. Right. And then some of it was people coming to the house and to the barn that we built that ended up being a studio for us, that we conducted 80 Wednesday nights in a row.
Oh, and cool.
And did that over the pandemic. So this record formed over that pandemic as we played this in front of thousands of people watching the screen and watching. So, well, that one got a pretty good response, and I like it. It starts with me liking it, and then watching the people respond, and we formed up a record and self-funded it, and It's out. It's rocking.
And I think, I mean, the one song that you have on there, Power of a Woman, that is a powerful song. Now, was that a kind of an inspiration from, your wife going through all of this? You're recovering from that stroke and everything. I know she had a big part in that.
Yeah, she was the heart of it. I was raised by a bunch of very powerful, strong women like yourself, just people that, women that go out there and don't take no for an answer, and it's just, they're going to get it done.
Yeah.
And I believe that women are the backbone of this world. They help and nurture and raise, and it would just all fall apart if it wasn't for them. And my wife, though, she helped me get back to stage. When the doctors told me that it would be impossible, and when the industry was like they didn't know if I was going to be able to sing or perform again. Alex said, "You will perform again. You will learn how to walk. You will do all this stuff." And so she picked me up. Mm-hmm. So it started with her, and then I started noticing this diner that I go to all the time, Wendell Smith's. I started noticing the women in there working, and then your perception shifts when you have a near-death experience. And I started noticing these ladies in there that it just created the backbone of their family, and listening to them talk. Mm. And so we asked them to turn in their stories, turn in to us your powerful woman on social media, and it became this big campaign and this spotlight. We've got a really cool video that's out on YouTube right now. She plays a mean game of poker. Got curls in her hair. She looks good on Broadway or the middle of nowhere. She's got 3 dogs she rescued on a road trip out west. She can change a tire, build a fire, makes my heart beat out my chest. Oh, she's so woo. Sunday morning, she got a mind of her own, Lord. Hey, she's something that gets me high. Lightning storming, I believe in the power. Power of a Woman is a very special song to us, and a very special song to the album.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I follow you on TikTok, and I watch your TikToks. Now, you play a lot with Devin.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys creating together? Are you working with other songwriters? What's kind of your creative process and how you're getting to these songs?
Yeah, with the TikTok stuff, Devin's wife, Kirsten, she understands TikTok. You have to have a bit of a I don't know what kind of education to understand TikTok. It is
it's
the
not
algorithmic,
easy.
And it's like figuring out a Rubik's Cube every time, but she gets it. And so she's kind of my TikTok guru, and she comes over once, 2 or 3 times a month, and we just start getting content. And my only thing with that was, hey, I'll do what comes natural to us and what we're doing, and base it around the music, and the comedy just kind of came after that, because I'm a goofy dude at heart. Like, I want to have fun and laugh, and so that's what the TikTok's about.
So you sing a song on one of your TikToks, Pound Cake.
Yeah.
I was cracking up because it starts out like a recipe.
Yeah. My wife is a chef, and that I'm a freestyler. I was just freestyling with one of our friends on a Wednesday night therapy, Hannah Dasher, and that freestyle was born, and Pound Cake became this sexual reference that then became this song that everybody on TikTok, we didn't put that on the Optimystic because it was literally a joke.
Right.
And then everybody we're going to release it eventually, but everybody on TikTok was like, it's got 3 or 4 million views on TikTok, and they were like, where's Pound Cake? I'm like, oh, well, we didn't, that's a freestyle, but that shows you the age that we're in.
That was great.
You can literally just be making something up, and that be what your career, what you're not like. It's nuts.
Isn't it? It is like that on TikTok, where you think something, you work on something, and you think that's really going to get the response, and it's something silly or crazy, and you kind of go, what?
Yeah.
I guess everybody loves that.
Well, people like authenticity. And that's what that is, that's us just being authentic in the moment. And, that's the way we are with our music as well. It's it's in the moment. They feel part of it, like they're in your living room, you know?
Yeah. So is there anybody, in country music or in music in general that you could see yourself collaborating with in the future?
When asked that question, I would love to collaborate with Bruno Mars. I love
Cool.
Bruno Mars. If you wanted to go on that kind of work, I love Rick Rubin, his style and what he does. As far as artists, I'm good buddies with a lot of these guys out here. I really like what Eric Church does. I like what Zach Brown does. I like what there's a lot of I love Tennille Towns, what she's doing right now, Brothers Osborne. So yeah, there's a lot of collaborators out there that I would and people that I have collaborated with that just hadn't hit the world yet.
Yeah, I know. Well, you've got a pretty big following. I mean, you've got millions and millions of views and downloads and all of that. How long have you been doing country music?
I was about to say, we've been doing this a long time. I consider myself a veteran of it. We took the scenic, to quote my buddy Charlie Worsham, we have taken the scenic route to stardom. It's a couple of record deals, it's a couple of this, a couple of that, but it hasn't been that one song, bam, they're at the top of the charts and they're going, but it's been this slow build of playing these 300, 400, 500, 600 capacity venues. And, this past year, playing the Optimistic, the Optimistic tour, the first leg of it, we're playing to 1,000, 1,200 people. And then we go out and we opened up for Whiskey Myers for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And we're just building it brick by brick. And, that's the only way I know how to do it. So for us, we have had that commercial success of having, some songs that charted high, and that got us in a really good spot with our fans. But this is mostly people coming to the shows, buying T-shirts, digging in the revival and just being a part of our fan base. It's my desire to create a Jimmy Buffett-esque, culture,
right.
Except for not palm trees and parrots. It's campfires and plaid, flannel.
What's your fan base called? Do they have it
the fire starters?
Fire starters. Okay,
Yeah.
See, there you go. See, everybody's got their names. I like this. So I think you're one of those artists where if somebody hasn't heard of you or they haven't heard your music, I think once they do hear your music, it's like, whoa, wow, and then they go, okay, now why is it? Why I sit there and I go, why is this guy not bigger? I'm like, you are so good. I love your music. I love your sound. And it's just, like I said, that soulfulness to it. So I'm rooting for you big time. What do you, as far as, success for you, what does that really look like in the future? What do you desire to have as your success?
Yeah. That's a good question. To kind of back up, I've never felt people, whether you want to use, I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. We've done a lot of stuff, and I just think that opportunity, where opportunity and preparation meet, that's coming. I can feel it coming. And we've always went out there and left places better than we found them. I've made that a point. We've built a great team now, and I feel like I'm just starting again. And it's okay because I love the process. I love doing this, and that's what you got to fall in love with is that process. So as far as people saying, he should be bigger, no, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and it's a bigger plan. It's not my plan. There's a bigger plan cooking out there, and you got to be patient and wait for the gumbo to start bubbling. You got to wait for those spices and wait for those things. And do I wish it would have happened sooner? No, because the book wouldn't be as good.
Right.
And I had a friend the other day text me, and we're getting some play on Sirius XM, and he said, if this song would have went number one back 12 years ago, the song "It Takes Time" on our record, and he'd have been a big superstar with MCA, the story wouldn't be near as interesting.
Yes.
And you have to embrace that. If you don't, you kind of drive yourself crazy.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. No, like I said, I'm a fan. I see your music, I see your videos, and I'm like, yeah, I like this guy. You're doing a good job, I think.
Thank you.
So now I did see that you do a little beatbox?
Yeah, we do. Like freestyling for me has always been just off the tip of my tongue, being able to think on my feet, and just songwriting is like that with me. And so the beatbox thing is just something to establish. It's not really a beatbox; it's just a flow to get that going. So that's always been kind of my mechanism of making sounds with my mouth. Drives my wife crazy. Drove my mom crazy, but it was always something, there was always something kind of ticking or popping or clicking or clacking. And that kept me going, kept my ADD at bay. And that's the way I create.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Not everybody can do that. I mean, that is a skill.
Yeah.
You said, you've been practicing since you were a kid, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it be the vacuum or, or the washing machine or the dryer, changing the dryer.
Right.
There was always rhythms. And
That's cool.
There's stuff always kind of beating around.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
You're right. Like you hear like an air conditioning or something, and it's like got that little,
it's got a rhythm.
There you go. Well, we're going to play a little game coming up. We're going to play, I call it my famous game, Truth or Truth. No dares for you today.
All right.
Okay, is that
I'll
cool?
take it, yeah.
You down with that? Okay,
So
we're going to do that coming up. Okay, we're going to play my famous game, Truth or Truth, with Drake White, who's here today in the studio. So you get to pick your question.
All right. Here we go.
Here we go.
What is something that no one else knows about you?
Ooh.
Whew. Man, right to it.
All right, you picked a good one. That you want to reveal.
Yeah. It does take a second to. I have these little holes right here in my ears.
Okay.
You see those little holes right
I
there?
don't see. Okay.
You see them?
No, I don't.
Do you see them?
I'm going to get real close here. I don't see. No.
Right there. They're like.
Okay.
Anyway, there's these. If you don't see them, I mean they're right.
I don't see
but they're like these inocular. They're called something. These holes in my ears are from my eardrum not really forming as a kid.
Interesting. Okay.
So I was premature, so I had to kind of
Okay.
sleep in an incubator for a while for all that stuff to develop. But that is from a underdeveloped eardrum.
Interesting.
So I have both these little bitty holes right here on both sides of my head.
That is a fun fact that probably no one knows about Drake White. So there you go. See,
I wish they had some kind of superpower of being able to breathe underwater.
Right, exactly.
Like that. But they don't.
You're amphibious? No.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You want to do another one?
Yeah. That was a hard one.
I know.
Well, do you have a favorite sibling? I only have one sibling.
Okay,
so
well then that's your favorite.
My sister Devin would probably have to be my favorite.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
there you go. Okay, one more.
All right. I'll dig in a little bit. If you farted in the elevator, would you blame someone else or say excuse me? I would definitely say excuse me.
That's a random question.
Yeah, everybody. I just don't get embarrassed, about stuff like that. Like it is.
It is what it is, right?
And it happens when it happens. So yeah, excuse me.
Well, lucky you, no one else has picked that question.
There you go.
Found out some revealing information about Drake White today.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for being here, taking the time to come and chat with me and share
pleasure.
little known facts about Drake White. So there you go.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Up and Country, where we have new episodes every Tuesday. And be sure to visit upncountry.com for all of the episodes and information about our VIP club, where you're going to get exclusive backstage access. And if you're on Instagram or TikTok, make sure to follow me, Sue Bonzel. I'll see you next week.